Okay, in this video, I want to take a look at how we can go about setting up our Illustrator artboard for a gradient project. So I'm going to create a digital vector illustration of an object that requires gradients. So I have a pair of scissors. I put a pair of scissors on a white piece of paper and took a photograph of them in indirect sunlight, put them in my windowsill, took a photo, and here it is. So what I do is I just set up my Illustrator board. Really, the size doesn't matter so much because when you're doing a vector, it is resolution independent. Beautiful. So here goes. I have my image on my desktop. I come to File, Place, and I'm going to find this image that I just created. It is named Scissors. Let's find it. Where is it? There it is. I come, I hit Place, I place it. Okay, beautiful. Now, what I want to do is I take a look at this, I can change the size of it. When I change the size, again, hold down Shift, up and in, okay? It can be, why do I want to hold down Shift? Well, when I hold down Shift, it will retain the relationship between the width and the height. Now check this out, if I don't hold down Shift and I come on in, I can make this distorted image, okay? We've all seen distorted images and they're not good, right? We want to keep it so it's not distorted. Okay, now I have my image placed, and this I can say is like the template from which I'm going to work on. I can double click my layer, I can turn it to a template, and I can up how much it dims. I don't want it to be so dimmed. I'm going to dim it to 80%. If you don't like the dim at all, you don't need to dim it. You can just dim it to 100%, and then it will not be dimmed. Beautiful. Okay, so here goes. Okay, so as I'm working, I have my first layer. I'm going to double click it. Now I am going to dim it. I'm going to dim it to 80 and make it a template. I'm going to say, okay, oops. Okay, I did that wrong. Mistakes. It's always good sometimes to see people make mistakes. Okay, so there we go. Now, when I'm on the template layer, I get this do not enter kind of sign, and that's because this layer is not editable. So what I want to do is I want to create a new layer and I'm going to work in on here. Now I'm going to zoom in. Command plus on the Mac, Control plus on the PC. Okay, so here goes. So I can zoom in, I can see this, I can go Command minus to zoom back out, Command plus to move in. I love the hand. Letter H for the hand. You can see your hand right here. You can move around. Okay, excellent. So I'm going to pull some things on over here. And I have this nice artboard that I can work on, and I'm going to get started. So I am going to work with the pencil. The pencil tool is super easy. The pen tool is a great tool to learn as well. So I can take it piece by piece. So I can come on in, and I can begin to draw here. I can start with larger shapes, and you can really see how you would really like to have a bamboo tablet. So I'm going to come on in. Now, I know that I'm going to close it. When I come on in, I see that circle. I'm going to bring it around, and voila, we have our first piece. Okay, now I'm going to take this, I'm going to move it on over because I want to be able to see what does this gradient look like, and I absolutely have the totally wrong gradient here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come on in and I am going to choose this image right here. Okay, again, moving this on over. I want to click onto this. I want to pull this on over and bring this on down and bring this guy on in. Okay, there we go. Again, I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I can see a little bit better. And depending upon the size, when I have this side, I can pull it out like so. This side, I can pull it out this way. I can move it around with this side, okay? If I want to change the length of this, I can do that as well. Beautiful. So I'm going to click right in here, double click, and let's see here. So one thing that I want to do before I start, this is what I like to do a lot. I'm going to click off of this, and I'm going to click onto this image right here, and I'm going to grab my eyedropper. I'm going to start sampling. So I can see, okay, I have this gray right in here. And I want to go a little bit lighter. So I want to pull that in. And again, I want to gather my colors, okay? So I come into my color guide and I'm thinking, you know what? I actually like this whole set right in here. So I'm going to come to my folder and I can create a new color group. and I can name this scissors. I'm going to hit OK. I can see I have this new folder, and now I can grab these guys. Hold on for a minute. I'm going to grab all of these guys, and I want to drop them into this folder. So there we have it, okay? So again, I selected them to select multiple ones. I held down Shift. And I kind of like these guys here too. So again, I'm going to do this one more time. I held down Shift to get all of them. And then I'm just going to drag it, and I'm going to pull it, and I'm going to drop it right into that folder. So I see the little plus sign, and now I have all these colors. And I can even organize them around. I can take this, I can drag it and put it in with these colors. So if you want to, however organized you want it to be, again, it's your workspace, and you do really what works right for you. I'm going to leave that as it is. I can even, if I would like to, I can widen this out so I can see them all in a line. Excellent. All right, now I want to come on in, and I want to click onto this gradient, and I want to double click. And I'm going to go for a little bit of a lighter one up in there. Again, I need to change out all of the blues as well. So I'm going to move this. I'm going to click right in here. And I'm going to go for this color. All right, not bad, not bad. Excellent. I'm going to click onto this guy. And I'm going to go for this one. All right, so far so good. I can click onto here, and again, I can change these up a little bit. Actually, what I want to do is I'm going to take this one, double click. Let's go to the bottom one, and I want to go for a little bit darker. That darkness looks pretty good. Get rid of this blue guy, dark. Okay, so here goes. Now, I know I want to go for a little bit lighter in here. So you can see, right, you could spend a lot of time, but I have this first little part down in here. I can take this, I can put it over top if I'd like to, but I'm going to start building this guy, and I find when I'm working with the gradients, because you always really want to be able to see what you have too, I'm going to leave this one right like this. Now I'm going to zoom in again, and I'm going to start working on the second shape. In this video, I want to just kind of show you this part in progress. Again, I'm just going to work with the pencil. The pen tool is an amazing tool for things like this, but the pencil tool is super easy. So I'm going to grab my pencil, the letter N for my pencil. Again, make sure that you have the pencil selected, and I can come on in. I can move this around. I can come on down. Whoa, my guy is not, it's looking very, very wonky. And again, working with the pen tool is really a great way to keep it straight. Okay, so now this is the story though, right? I could come on in, I could zoom it on in a lot, and I can grab my white arrow, and I can start moving things around a little bit more. So let me pull this on over, zoom it on out. So I could say, oh, I'm gonna, shift click these guys, and bring it out a little bit. I can add this one to it too, bring it out, right? So I could say this one's sticking out a little bit too much, pull this one in. All right, beautiful. All right, so now I want to once again do the gradient, and what's really kind of cool is I want this one up here, it totally needs to be lighter, so I need to get that, and I need it to be a little bit even lighter than this, right? So this one ends up coming in just like so. Okay, so let me see how they look together. Again, I need to fill in this space and make sure it connects in. So I can zoom it on in. Let's do this here. Shift click, pull this on down, pull this out and down. Again, now I can shift click this guy, pull this down, shift click, pull this down, pull this up. All right, so it's like this nice balance. Okay, so here goes. Let's do this again. Let's throw the gradient in on this guy. We're going to click onto this. Now I want to take this. I want to rotate it. I want to bring it on up. Bring it on up. Put it right on it. Bring this on down. Okay, so here goes. So I want to add a color. I'm going to go for super light. Actually, let's go for this one. Okay, excellent. Again, I can't see it so much. I should actually, what I should do with this guy is put a color behind him so we can see it a little bit better. I'm going to say this color runs all the way down. And chuck that, don't want that one. And it starts to change at about here. Bring this down a little bit. And I'm going to double click, go for more of a gray. And you know, the one down in here, it's not that dark. So again, I want more of a gray. And I need to change, I'm going to get rid of that one. I'm going to click off, and there I have it. Now, again, filling in the space, pull it on up, work in here, zooming it on in, fixing these shapes up. Again, I can just grab the letter A, move it up, up, over, down, and where it needs to be. Okay, there we go. Zooming it on in. All right, so we can see that we're starting to get this first part. Now, also, I can pull this one up to the front. So I'm going to come to Object, Object, Arrange, Bring to Front. Okay, so I have the first part of my scissors created. Now, also when I look at this, I'm thinking, you know, I want it to be even brighter in there, right? Because this overall, this is darker and this is brighter. So I need to change this up. I'm going to click onto here. I'm going to actually change this color in here. I'm going to make this one a little bit darker. Okay, and it does have some of that light, which is great, and it does get darker. And I want to actually click on into here, grab onto the gradient. Up, had the wrong one selected. Need to make sure that I have the top one selected. I click onto the gradient, and now I want to add a color. I'm looking here and thinking I want to add something. So when you want to add one, you just click, double click, lighten. Click on off, black arrow, click off. All right, so there we go. I'm liking this one, this a lot better. Now it's hard to see. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to select both of these shapes right here. I'm going to move them on down a little bit. And I'm going to put a color behind them. Now, right now, I can change this at the end, but just because there's a lot of white and it's behind a white background, it's a little bit difficult to say. So I am going to choose a color. Choose a color. Let's see. I'm going to go for, let's just go for like a really light white, but that has a little bit of color to it. And that's more of a blue. I can change that as well. So I'm going to come on in. I'm just going to draw this shape, object, arrange, send to back. All right, so see now how much better I can see this. Okay, so now I'm going to keep on working here. And I ended up in there. Let me see too. Then sometimes I'm like, where did I end drawing this? So if I pull this on up, I ended right up in there, right? And I could put it up there, back up there if I wanted to once I had it done. Now I can go and continue to work, and I'm going to work on the back scissor. So I'm going to move this back down, and I'm going to work on the back scissor. Okay, again, I'm just working with the pencil just because I find that it is super duper easy. Now I've changed, my pencil now has an X. When you double click in, you can see you can actually work with this even a little bit more. So I did something, I changed something in the settings, so hopefully that doesn't bother you too much. So again, you either have an image of a pencil or you have this X. Now the pencil is not 100% exact, but it really is much easier. Now I'm not worried because I'm going to actually throw this behind it so I can put this up, I can close it. Excellent. All right, so again, I want to work with this. And I want to start, actually this has a lot of the same color, it's dark. Maybe I could throw in a little bit of a gradient, but very, very slight. So this one's going to be super easy to do. Again, I'm going to click on this gradient tool. I'm going to flip it, move it. Okay, here I need this side. When I hover around until there we go. I need to flip it, move this up, bring it on in. I'm going to make this dark. Double click, dark, double click, dark. And it feels like there is a little variety within the darkness, but overall it's just dark. I definitely am going to lighten that little last piece up. Not that light. And that gray even feels like it has a little bit more of a blue in it. It's what I mean by the blue, it's a cooler gray. So, and we all have had this experience. Sometimes black is warm, sometimes it's cool. And we know this from when we've gotten ourselves dressed and we've realized, I have on 2 different color blacks. All right, so now again, I want to put this behind here. So I come to Object, Arrange, Send to Back. Oh, okay. Now I put it behind the blue one. And this is great. I'm glad that this happened because what I can see is I could do this. I could say Object, Arrange, Bring Forward, and now it's right there. Let's take a closer look at what this is though. So I come on down and I look at the layers, which are somewhere, but I don't see them. They were right in front of me. Window, layers, where are you? They were right there. I'm losing it. Okay, so we come to Window, Layers, beautiful. And I can click on in. Now, so we can see, right, that this is how it's organized. So if I was to click onto this guy and I said Object, Arrange, Bring Forward, so we can see how it moves up one. So I could even change the order by just dragging it and pulling it under, okay? So we can always look and see how these are organized. Illustrator puts them all in and organizes them into sublayers. All right, so we're moving along, starting to get some of these images. Again, it's not 100% perfect, but it's starting to come together. So if you take a look at my next video, I'm going to continue through and show you how I'd go about approaching the rest of this project. But this beginning video here shows you how to get it set up, how to start applying and working with gradients on the pieces of the object that you are turning into a vector illustration. And again, you would use a gradient really for almost anything that you can see light and value interacting with. Thanks for listening, and I hope that you enjoy the next video.